There is Steve Spagnuolo, head coach of the St. Louis Rams, who challenges his team to think big. Every week his message is expect to win. Well, they doubled the win total for last year, and there's Norv Turner in his 4th season as the head man at San Diego. And there is the special teams coach, Steve Crosby, who's been a very good special team coach throughout his long career in the NFL. He's a very good special teams player with the Giants, but his Chargers had a bad week last week. Really, one guy got beaten alive.
They did, and a lot of pressure on Steve Crosby. But you know what? Norv Turner, we talked to him, no doubt in his mind. This guy's proven himself over the years. He is a great special teams coach. It was the same player, as you said, making a couple mistakes last week.
Now the Rams kick it off. Sproles is back for the Chargers. He has 4 kick return touchdowns in his career. 2 on kickoff, 2 on punts. And the Rams special teamers come a hitting, but Sproles does get it out past the 20. And here come the #1 Charger offensive players, led by Philip Rivers, now the 7th year for North Carolina State. Unbelievable numbers. Really, it'd make Don Coryell proud what this team does.
And only getting better. You know, that he talks about the stability of the system with Norv Turner, the whole coaching staff, no changes from last year. They really are in a good place right now offensively, and it shows up every week.
And he starts pitching, and he will probably right away. The ball goes all over the field. His favorite receiver is the open man. Straight ahead power dive by Ryan Matthews, the #1 draft choice. Shot by Laurinaitis, middle backer. Matthews, Chargers moved up to #12 in the draft to get him. Marcus McNeil coming back at left tackle. That's huge. He's huge and a great player. Looking at their skill position players, Matthews is averaging over 5 yards a carry. Has had a little bit of an ankle tweak, but he's going to get a lot of looks today. 2nd and 6. Matthews. A lot of defense by the Rams, and he bounces off it, and Matthews finds a way to get ahead out to the 35-yard line. He has a 1st down.
And those are the kind of things that Ryan Matthews brings you. You see the hit in the backfield. Should have been a 3 or 4 yard loss. He keeps his poise. He's got the ability to bounce it back to the outside and make enough yards to pick up the 1st down. Unbelievable effort by Ryan Matthews right there. And I know Norv Turner really feels like this kid is healthy now and ready to make a statement.
He's a power back. 5'11", 220. 1st down Chargers on this opening drive. Run. This time, the Ram defense is reading Matthews. Gibson makes the stop. As we look at the St. Louis Rams on defense, Chris Long, 3rd-year left end. He's a guy who gets a lot of quarterback hits. Laurinaitis quarterbacks the defense in the middle backer position. A 2nd-year player from Ohio State, really good player. And the safety, Craig Dowell's got a big assignment today. He'll have Mr. Gates to look after much of the day.
And that's going to be a matchup we're going to watch very closely, Don.
Rivers, he is sacked back at the 29-yard line. Chris Long with his 2nd sack of the year. Long's had not a whole lot of sacks this year, but he's always putting pressure on. A loss of 4 on that play.
Well, believe it or not, Don, Philip Rivers made a mistake here. Antonio Gates, you saw him on the right side of your screen. He ran out to the flat, and he was uncovered. Philip Rivers, yes, under pressure, did not have time to scan the field, but had he had time, Antonio Gates was running free in the left flat.
Now Rivers needs a downfield throw on 3rd and 16. Comes the heat. Downfield throw it is. And it drove a clean breakup. Ron Bartell is defending against number 84, Buster Davis. The Chargers have to punt it, Steve.
Well, the first 2 dropbacks of Philip Rivers. You see right there, Buster Davis was definitely behind Ron Bartell. Philip Rivers had plenty of time to get that ball out there. And I'll tell you, Norv Turner and Philip Rivers told us they really want to take some shots at Buster Davis. He's a guy that hasn't had a chance to make many plays. He was open for a big one right there. Philip Rivers will make you pay most of the time on those throws.
Here's Mike Cyphers to punt now for the Chargers. He booms one down to Danny Amendola. Amendola puts a move on the first wave, beats the second wave, turns the corner, and Amendola's on the run. Tremendous return by second-year wide receiver kick returner Danny Amendola. A 63-yard punt by Cyphers, but a 43-yard return.
And Steve Crosby can only shake his head. We got the punt off, but now they got to return again.
So the Rams, with their first possession, get real good field position to start it. Back to the Jones Dome in St. Louis. Don Criqui with Steve Berline. Tremendous punt return by Danny Amendola. The Rams gives them good field position to start their first drive. A quick out. And the Rams break a nice one to Brandon Gibson. As quarterback Sam Bradford with that quick release. Boy, the ball comes out of his hand fast.
Oh, he comes out quick and clean. Nice quick throw to Brandon Gibson to get the confidence going for a pickup of 11 yards. But Bradford, yeah, the guy, when you watch him in practice, you watch him in film, he looks so strong and confident in that pocket. I love the way he stands in there under pressure to delivers the ball. Very clean, very easy.
He's 6'4", 230 from Oklahoma. Played only 2 collegiate seasons there. And 2 shoulder injuries, and here is Jackson cutting back. Steven Jackson, that a workman-like back he is. He pounds it out every year with among the leaders in the league in carries. As we look at the offensive line on the left side of tackle, a rookie from Indiana, Roger Saffold. In the skill positions, Danny Amendola, he caught 12 last week in a loss at Detroit.
And he is the senior member of this Rams receiving corps, too. Second-year guy.
Another timing pattern and an out pattern. Applewhite defending on tight end Daniel Fells. As we look at the Chargers on defense, Cesare at defensive end. They occupy a lot of blockers, these guys. They really like Garay, too, at nose tackle. Linebackers, that's where the sacks come from. John Phillips has 6. He's had 2 in each of the last 2 games. And in the defensive backfield, the veteran Quentin Jammer in his 9th year, playing superbly at left corner. Third and a long 4. Here comes the heat. Beautifully timed throw. First down Rams as they're down to the 26-yard line. Another timing pattern. Little drag route underneath.
That's Daniel Fells. I think he's going to be a big factor with Sam Bradford today, and you're going to see a lot of man coverage out of San Diego, and this is the perfect route to run. You see Daniel Fells coming underneath, a lot of crossing routes. That's the best way to beat man coverage because you run defensive players into each other. A nice pickup for Sam Bradford and the Rams to get a first down there.
Oh, here's danger now as Bradford does well to throw the ball away and not fall on it and lose all that yardage.
Quarterback was out of the pocket.
And Don, those are the kind of plays right there that show you the cool this guy has. That snap, I've never seen a worse shotgun snap than that in my life. Sam Bradford picks it up, doesn't show any stress on his face. Steve Spagnuolo, I'm sure, was showing a lot of stress on his face on that play, but Bradford, no hesitation, picks the ball up, throws it out of bounds, says we'll move on to the next play.
Like Jason Brown, the center, snapped it with a pop gun. Here is a power run, and a penalty marker comes down. No score. Rams in this good field position after a
false start. Offense, right tackle. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Jason Smith, the right tackle. Rams setting this up with a 43-yard punt return by Amendola. Rams have been a good first quarter team. As you see, they have a 21-point advantage so far this season in quarter number 1.
And Don, they haven't even given up a touchdown in the first quarter this year. So obviously a team that comes out strong, they've just got to learn to finish.
Bradford from the shotgun. Here come the blitzers. He gets it away quickly, still takes it in. Going for Amendola. Donald Strickland was coming and got a clean lick on him.
And Bradford did the right thing. He knew where he was going with his hot throw.
Offside. Defense, number 30. Lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty. Second.
That's how he got there so fast.
Well, Donald Strickland, he could tell he was a little bit edgy coming off that side there. He was in on Sam Bradford's left-hand side. Right here, you're going to see he gets a little antsy coming off the edge. And just got his head across that line and got into that neutral zone.
So that brings up now a second down and 10 for the Rams. And we could have motion on the Rams before the snap of the ball. Stopping the clock with 10:23 to play in the first quarter. Steve Spagnuolo in his second year. You get around this team, I tell you, it's a very optimistic, upbeat clubhouse.
Defense, number 76, made contact with an offensive player before the snap. 5-yard penalty, second.
There you see Norv Turner. You're going to see him right here, jumping, lined up in the neutral zone.
Cam Thomas, 76.
Can't do it. It's, you're giving this Rams team that you want to try and put on defensive early. You're giving them a lot of optimism here by helping them out.
I think the 2nd and 5. They keep marching down the field on penalties.
Well, it's just going back 5 now. Right there, you had Mike Carney.
False start. Offense, number 44. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
From a beauty standpoint, this has the look of a first preseason game.
Oh, this is ridiculous. 3 consecutive plays where we never got the snap off. It doesn't happen very often.
But the Rams already well within field goal position. Bradford comes in, hitting 57% of his passes. 6 TDs. He's been intercepted 8 times. Another blitz. Good throw. And it's completed down to about the 21-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd down and about 4 for the Rams. Eric Weddle, one of the safeties for the Chargers, makes the hit on Demario Alexander.
Well, again, there's pressure off the left side. Sam Bradford, you see right there, he's about to get hit. I don't even know if he knew there was pressure coming off that backside. He sure looked like he did, but I saw before the snap, he was looking off to the right. I think the Rams just had the right play called at the right time. We've seen San Diego that Eric Weddle, their safety, told us they're going to play a lot more man coverage. They're going to bring a lot more pressure. We've already seen 2 blitzes from the secondary off the backside of Sam Bradford. They're going to try and rattle this rookie early.
Yeah, every rookie quarterback sees blitzes all day long. Here comes another one. Bradford takes his time, goes to the end zone. And on an out pattern, his receiver can't quite get to the ball. Quentin Jammer was defending on the play.
That was Marty Gilliard,
rookie from Cincinnati.
And that's one of those things, too. I think Sam Bradford would tell you he'd love to have that shot again. They saw the blitz coming. Bradford always stands strong in the pocket. He had a place to put that ball up and over for Gilliard. But guess what? All these receivers, they have not had enough reps together, Don, to where Sam Bradford knows exactly where they're going to be all the time.
Yeah, the Rams have lost 2 really terrific receivers to injuries. Avery in the preseason and then at Detroit. Clayton. Here is the field goal attempt by Josh Brown. He drills it. 39-yard field goal, and the Rams on their home field take the lead. The Rams kick off when we come back to St. Louis.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. The Dodge Challenger. Visit your local Dodge dealer today. And by Sprint, the Now Network.
We're back to St. Louis. 39-yard field goal by Josh Brown puts the Rams in the lead, and now he's ready to kick off with Sproles back for the Chargers. Phillip Rivers, no passing yards yet today in that first possession. 0 for 1. Sproles from the 4. Blockers form. He can change directions. And Sproles is all the way out to the 34-yard line. An outstanding return. They expect that of him. A 31-yard return. And here comes Rivers in the offense again.
And there you see Norv Turner, Don. Yeah, I had the unique privilege to play football for him at the Dallas Cowboys in the early 90s, and he is one of the very best play callers in the NFL. And it's because of 3 things. 1, he's committed to the run. 2, he knows how to play off that commitment to the run with big plays. And 3, he knows how to use his players in positions they're most comfortable and most effective.
Rams send blitzers. A nicely executed play by the Chargers as they swing it out to fullback Jacob Hester. Laurinaitis, 55, gets him out of bounds, but there's a gain of 7.
And The Chargers were looking for a little extracurricular activity there on the sideline, didn't get it. But Philip Rivers, we talked to him yesterday. He knows how lucky he is to be playing for Norv Turner, and it truly is a marriage made in heaven if there ever could be between a quarterback and a head coach, because these guys think alike, and Norv Turner is so aggressive and so active with his offense.
Here is a pitch and a cutback run. Matthews taken down to the 40. Well, Dick Vermeil, who coached the Super Bowl winner here in St. Louis, told me once, Steve, that nobody is better at designing plays and calling them than Norv Turner.
And I think that you'd find a lot of people in the NFL that would feel the same way. He's arguably the best play caller in the NFL and has been for many years. There's several others you can mention up there with him, but his name always comes up early in the conversation.
He loves the fullback lead, but they're looking to throw now on 3rd down and a long 3. A late arrival in the backfield. If they call a timeout here, Blake Cock running down, and they do. Rather than get the 5 yards.
San Diego. This is the first charge timeout.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by State Farm. Find an agent or get a quote at statefarm.com. And by Denny's new Build Your Own Omelet. Choose from 17 different ingredients and make your own omelet your own way.
.8:21 left to go in the first quarter. Rams 3, Chargers nothing. Antonio Gates shaken up a little bit, Steve, off the side of the field now, trying to walk it off.
It looked like Niall Diggs kind of rolled up on his left foot on that last play.
Chargers need 3 on 3rd down. Big high coverage was good. Buster Davis the target. Justin King, and nickelback, was in there defending, and the Chargers have to punt again.
You know, this St. Louis defense has played very well this year. The first 4 games, they were as good as anybody in the league. In fact, they were only giving up 30%, 31% on 3rd down, which was 3rd in the league. Now after Detroit last week, they had a huge hiccup. Points given up, 3rd downs. Looks like today they've come out with a good game plan and executing very well in the first part of this game.
Cyphers booms a punt downfield. Amendola will let it hit as it goes into the end zone for a touchback. The Gates problem right now gets further focus.
And you can see Niall Diggs going down there. You see the left foot of Antonio Gates get caught up underneath there. Well, I wouldn't want to be Jacob Hester either on that play, but the big news is right there. Antonio Gates in obvious discomfort. Still tending to him on the sideline. That is a huge, huge issue if you're the San Diego Chargers, and everybody will be watching that develop.
Will they? Steve Spagnuolo, Rams coach, told us Friday, we have to be better on 1st down. That's what makes the Chargers so good. They're the best on 1st down. Power dive by Jackson, the 7th-year back from Oregon State.
Look at what's happened so far for the Rams. You see Sam Bradford getting that ball out quick on the first play, and it kind of continued through that whole first drive. The Chargers tried to bring some pressure, went some man-to-man defense, and Bradford always seemed to have a quick decision, a quick answer. They didn't get the touchdown, but a good, solid first drive and 3 points to show for it.
No gain on the run, 2nd and 10. Bradford rolling. Gets the ball out. And Billy Badgema, the tight end, he's going to be out to about the 27-yard line. Fight for the ball. Paul Oliver was in there fighting for it.
Sam Bradford, he told us that he likes to get out early on the run. He likes throwing the ball on the run, likes to move the pocket a little bit to try and figure out whether the defense is going to be coming with pressure and get an idea of what kind of scheme the defense is going to run. He's very accurate and very athletic, surprising to many people on the outside.
Here we go to now on 3rd down, needing 3.
Timeout.
And a whistle stops play.
This is your first charge, timeout.
The new NFL.com mobile apps have arrived. No matter where you are, you can track scores, set fantasy lineups, and get highlights of your team's big plays. Go to NFL.com/mobile to learn more. 3rd and 3 for the Rams. Up by 3, first quarter. Bradford gets some time. Very fortunate not to get picked there as inside backer Stephen Cooper had his hands on the ball. Looked like a room service interception.
Well, you look at that play. Sam Bradford really, watch how he just stares to his left the whole time. He's looking, he's telling Cooper exactly where he's going with that football. And then he was a little bit late. Cooper would love to have another opportunity to get his hands on that ball. Bradford seemed to know he was going to Danny Amendola the whole time on that play. That's a recipe for failure in this league.
But the Chargers are going to get the ball as you see Sproles back at his 20. Donnie Jones ready to punt the ball. It's an end-over-end punt. And it's going to be down at about the 35-yard line. Wednesday on Showtime, JB, Chris Collinsworth, Phil Simms, and Warren Sapp come your way on cable's longest-running show, the multi-award-winning Inside the NFL, every Wednesday on Showtime.
Still no Antonio Gates. He's got the helmet on. That's encouraging for the Chargers. So far in their first 2 possessions, the Chargers only 12 yards, 2 punts. Phillip Rivers only 1 for 3 for 6 yards.
That'll change.
I think that's a good bet, Don.
Rivers gets time. Long ball. Receiver didn't see it. Stopped his route. Malcolm Floyd, who's been a standout this year, had 8 catches for 213 yards last week at Oakland. He never saw the ball.
Well, Malcolm Floyd never saw. That's one of the challenges of playing indoors with the lights and the rafters and everything inside these dome stadiums as Antonio Gates comes back on the field.
That is good news for the Chargers.
Yeah, Malcolm Floyd never saw that ball, though. That was a play where Phillip Rivers said, I got the matchup I want on the outside, and we're going to see if we can take advantage of it.
Over the top, they call it, but they couldn't hit it. Now it's 2nd and 10. Matthews with a great burst, and he's out across midfield. Got about 17 or 18. How about those longtime rivals, the Browns and the Steelers? JB has that story.
And Don, we're all keeping eyes on Ben Roethlisberger, who completed his first 2 passes on his first offensive series. That third one to the wrong team. Rookie Joe Hayden picks it off, returns it 62 yards for the Browns. Phil Dawson capitalizes on the turnover. Browns are on top 3-0 that late in the first. Back to Don Criqui, Steve Berline.
Thank you, JB. 1st and 10 now for the Chargers, moving the ball. It's their 3rd possession of the game. Mike Tolbert, a bowling ball fullback. Look at Laurinaitis. Abrupt halt.
Wait till you hear the sound of this hit from James Laurinaitis. And, by the way, he was being blocked by Luis Vasquez. It was like, hey, Luis, you want to go for a ride? We're going to go meet somebody in the backfield.
It's not easy money out there.
Oh, no way.
2nd and 9. Blitzers are coming. They're aligning to. Beautifully timed throw, and there is Gates. So superb. Snagging the ball. How about the Chiefs and the Texans? We go back to James Brown.
All right, Don. Matt Castle hooking up with Mike Vrabel. Do you know Vrabel has 12 career receptions, all of them for touchdowns. That caps a 15-play, 74-yard drive. Twice on 4th down, KC was successful. They're on top, 7-0, Don and Steve.
And who to thunk it, James? Kansas City off to a 3-1 start.
Well, the Chargers don't like that.
No, That division right now led by the Chiefs of all teams. And Malcolm Floyd on a crossing pattern, getting down to the 25-yard line. Laurinaitis on the tackle, but he did it 11 yards downfield.
Watch Philip Rivers on this play. He's not the best athlete in the world, but watch how he moves in the pocket. He kind of shuffles around. You see, he sees that big window right there. He's going to do that all day long. When there's pressure, he is as good as anybody in the league at finding windows and buying that extra time as receivers need to get open. Right there, Malcolm Floyd, the happy recipient.
Malcolm Floyd, a fifth-year receiver from Wyoming. Rivers in trouble. He's looking downfield. He's not looking at the rush, and it came hard from the outside. Larry Grant, outside backer, 59, was the first to arrive.
And I think Chris Long was right in there on it, too. Chris Long
was.
Son of the famous Howie Long, a former teammate of mine, but right there you see, you called it right away, Grant on top, and there comes Chris Long to finish it up. But boy, a very athletic play by Grant coming over the top. A blitz pickup, mistake, miscue. Philip Rivers thought he was all picked up there. Not to be.
Now, the loss of 10. It's second down and 20 for the Chargers.
You see the Chargers just trying to get about half of that back right now.
Rivers, he's trying to get it all. Let's see what it's ruled. It is ruled a pick. Otagwe snagged the ball. Looked like Floyd had a play on it. And Oshimego Otagwe, the safety from Stanford, makes a phenomenal play.
And it comes up with his 20th career interception. Philip Rivers thought the matchup with the 6'5" Malcolm Floyd on Otagwe was a good matchup, but Otagwe said not to be. I'm going to get up there and make a play. This Rams defense, we talked about it earlier, last week, a really bad day against Detroit. Gave up 44 points. They'd only given up 52 prior to that in the first 4 games. They had no turnovers last week. They had 10 the first 4 games of the season. Today they're coming out playing like the first 4 weeks of the year.
This Ram team has really improved from last year. And here is Jackson, who is good every game, every year in his 7th year. Taken down by the safety, Eric Weddle.
You look at what the Chargers have done this year, 2-3 for the 4th year in a row. But look what they've done home versus road. All those relevant, very relevant stats. The most important down there at the bottom, the turnovers, been a huge nightmare. Now it's 10 after that interception in the end zone.
And last season, Steve, they were about the best road team in the league.
They were 7-1 last year. This year they're 0-3.
There's a timing throw. Coming back to the ball is Brandon Gibson for a first down for the Rams out to the 37-yard line. Burnett, inside backer on the stop, but it's a 12-yard gain.
But you talk about that again, Don, to go back to one more point. Norv Turner, he mentioned that one of his biggest concern is the turnovers his team makes, and you get Sam Bradford getting a little bit of confidence back there. Brandon Gibson making a nice adjustment catching that football, but in their away games, the Chargers this year are -7. Last year they were +8. That's how they were 7-1.
They have a history. This is the 4th straight year they've started 2-3. Blitzers come, but they might have come early. Kevin Burnett coming from the middle.
If Kevin Burnett tried to time it up.
99.
Neutral zone infraction, defense, number 76. 5-yard penalty.
Cam Thomas.
So first.
You're going to see right here, he's lined up in the neutral zone, but there, I think Kevin Burnett could have been called too. You're going to see number 99 shoot the gap right there. He's really even more guilty. Yeah, he beat the snap for sure. He said, not me, I didn't do it.
Right now, Bradford has hit 5 of 9 throws for 43 yards. A timing throw, it's a beauty. First down Rams. Is going high for the ball is Demario Alexander, who had a phenomenal career at Missouri. Patriots and the Ravens teeing up each other at Gillette Stadium. James Brown has it.
Don and Steve, as you know, the Patriots are very excited about Brandon Tate here involved in the end around on a 1st and 10 at the 26. He takes it 22 yards. That sets up a 2-yard touchdown run by the running back Ben Jarvis Green Ellis. 7-3 New England on top of Baltimore in the second. Don and Steve.
That is one of the games of the day so far. Patriots Taking the lead over the Ravens, who a lot of people right now are calling maybe the best team in the AFC. Amendola takes the catch.
I agree with that. I think they are the best team in the AFC right now. You saw right there Danny Amendola making a nice play on first down. Steve Spagnuolo likes the way this ball game's going early. He's a very confident guy in this club for a coach that's only won 3 games in almost a year and a half. They are heading in the right direction.
He's going to be around for a long time, Spagnuolo. His mandate, expect to win, and Sam Bradford says you can't believe how that changes the locker room. Here's a long ball by Bradford, and it's a touchdown for the Rams. Demario Alexander, guy who overcame 4 knee operations. His numbers at Mizzou were unbelievable. And they say the trainers here have helped him so much come back from him. What a threat he is.
Well, I'll tell you, Sam Bradford loves it. The previous 2 plays prior, they hit Demario Alexander for about a 15-yard gain on the sideline. He's big. He's 6'4", 6'5", 215 pounds. And Danny Amendola told us he thinks he's got similar abilities to a guy you may have heard of, Randy Moss.
Well, they look like they're there.
They're going up and getting that deep ball. Great play for the St. Louis Rams, and Demario Alexander, boy, provided a much-needed spark for these depleted wide receivers of the St. Louis Rams. Steve Spagnuolo loves it. Philip Rivers does not like it, but what a tremendous start to this young man's career after all he's been through.
And the St. Louis Rams, playing some great football on their home field, extend to a 10-0 lead.
And you know what it was that Danny Amendola told us about Demario Alexander? He told us that the reason he feels that he's got that kind of ability, it's in terms of his size, his speed, his stride, and his ability to get up the field and judge and play the football when it's in the air.
It was the great play in the end zone that set it all up. This drive.
Yep, it was a jump ball that went the other way. Togway against a much larger Malcolm Floyd came down with that football, and it led to the 80-yard drive capped by a 38-yard touchdown pass from Sam Bradford, who, by the way, put that ball in the perfect position for Demario Alexander.
Darren Sproles, Steve, is spending a lot of time running back kickoffs today.
This would be his 3rd of the day already, yes. Not what they want to. They don't want to see that many reps on the kickoff return team.
Ball is boomed downfield by Josh Brown from 3 yards deep. Sproles looks for the gap. Next to the 22. 24-yard return. Jerome Murphy, a rookie from Florida State, makes the stop. Coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report to join JV, Dan, Shannon Boomer, and Coach Cower for all the latest NFL scores and highlights. That's coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report.
Well, this would be a good time for Philip Rivers to turn it up a notch in this offense. You can see Sam Bradford getting the best of him right now. Not even a contest to this point, but there is no panic in this San Diego Chargers team. They will find a way to move that football.
Well, even with all the problems last week at Oakland, they did come back and take the lead. Lost the game, but they can come from behind. But this Ram pass rush is fierce. That time they send the free safety, Togway.
That was Togway's 2nd big play in a row. He made the interception on the last San Diego offensive play, and right there coming off the side, you're going to see, just times it up perfectly off the edge. And Ryan Matthews is in a dilemma. It was actually the rookie, Ryan Matthews. You saw 2 charge. Jacob Hester and Ryan Matthews were there to pick up those 2 blitzers, but the rookie, Ryan Matthews, is the one that missed his blitz pickup assignment.
That is the 3rd sack of Philip Rivers today. Rams lead after a quarter. With Steve Berline, Don Criqui back at St. Louis. Rams a surprise 10-0 leader after 1 quarter. First quarter point differential. Rams standing tall in that department.
True to form for the Rams. They've only given up 3 points in the first quarter all year. That was last week against Detroit. They have been a very fast starting team this year, and no difference today.
Here is Rivers. Again, the heat comes. He's been sacked 3 times in the first quarter today as now hits Darren Sproles on a nicely timed throw.
Well, let's talk about this St. Louis defense, Don. They've been solid all year with the exception of last week. Right there you saw Chris Long coming in, right there Grant coming up the middle, and then the big interception by Otagwe. Philip Rivers has been under pressure all day. 3 sacks on him in the first quarter alone. Not what you're looking for if you're Philip Rivers.
3rd and 7 now from the 24. Hurried 5 times, knocked down 4 in addition to the 3 sacks. There's a 4th sack. Chris Long. There, Jeremy Clary.
I'll tell you what, Chris Long is playing like a man possessed today. He had a half a sack in the first 5 games this year, but today they are not able to answer his effort level, his overall explosiveness today. He's getting in Philip Rivers' face every single opportunity he has.
This is not unexpected in his career, though. He was the number 2 pick in the whole draft coming out of Virginia. Loss of 12 on that sack, and the Chargers have to punt. From their 2. Oh, that is boom. Look out for Amendola. Dives out to the 37-yard line. He really ignited the Rams today with a punt return of 43 yards on their first possession that led to a field goal. The St. Louis Rams on their home field, building a 10-0 first quarter lead. Now they take over the ball again. Bradford's been outstanding. The rookie quarterback, 8 of 12 for 101 yards and a touchdown. Another connection again to Demario Alexander. Last year he caught over 70 passes at Missouri, 1,400 yards, 14 touchdowns.
I like the way this kid looks out there. I think Sam Bradford does too. And this is not a pushover defense they're playing. Now the San Diego Chargers are the 2nd-ranked defense in the NFL overall. And look at that, they're passing. They only give up 160 yards a game, 3rd in the NFL. Today, in just over a quarter, they've given up 114. That's Ron Rivera, the defensive coordinator right there. He's got to be concerned.
And he was expecting a lot of 39. Steven Jackson, who takes it straight ahead for a 5-yard gain.
And Ron Rivera doing a great job as the coordinator with the San Diego Chargers. They're only giving up 86 yards a game rushing, so you know that they're committed to stopping the run, and they're going to be focused on Steven Alexander. But it just seems, or Steven Jackson, excuse me. But it just seems as though the Rams right now have got a real good pulse on what the San Diego Chargers are trying to do defensively.
Bradford so poised and under control, mixing the play calls. Another power run by Jackson. He takes on people coming downhill. No fair dodging. Boy, he's after you when he runs the ball.
He runs like a man possessed. There's no doubt about it. And he's surprisingly fast. He can get to the outside. He can beat you between the tackles. The other thing that doesn't get nearly enough attention is that he can beat you out of the backfield, 2 catching passes.
A very good pass catcher his whole career. That's 13 this year so far. There is a Jackson run again on a short yardage play, 3rd and just over a yard. He's down close to the 38-yard line. The safety Oliver made the stop for the Chargers, but it looks like he might have he does. He's got a first down.
He got it. There was no messing around on that play. Watch the leg drive at the end of this play. You're going to see Steven Jackson get the ball, just a straight ahead dive right there, but watch his legs keep pumping right there. Pump, pump, pump. He's just saying, I'm going to get whatever I can get out of this play. And he's become truly the leader of this football team.
Look at the gun on how he threw it, almost a pick. Eric Weddle had his hands on the ball. You see the arm strength of Sam Bradford, but you have to admire, Steve, the way the Rams have come back. I mean, they were blown away last week, 44-6 at Detroit.
Yeah, they're coming out with confidence today. Nice double fake there. They faked the sweep in the reverse, but Eric Weddle was not fooled at all. That was Brandon Gibson sitting down, and Eric Weddle would love to have another opportunity at that ball. Sam Bradford made up his mind, tried to rifle it in there. Like you said, he almost paid the price.
2nd and 10, Rams.
Look at that yardage differential, 100-yard difference.
Bradford tries to check down to Steven Jackson. Lions outscored the Rams a lot in the second quarter last week. It's 21-3 advantage for the Lions in the second quarter. The 105-yard kickoff return they gave up. Stephen Logan was a big factor in the Lions win.
Yeah, all of it led to a 44-6 drubbing that really had a lot of people questioning whether the 2-2 start for St. Louis was legitimate or not. And right there, the play selection, you can see not protecting Sam Bradford at all. 15 passes, only 6 runs in this game.
He's completed 9 of the 15. There's another bad snap. Bradford throws it towards a legal receiver, Kenneth Darby.
And a motion penalty on the Rams as well. There was movement in the backfield.
They better do some snapping on the sideline.
That's got to be a serious concern.
Illegal motion, offense number 86. Penalty is declined. 4th down.
Steve Spagnuolo does not like the looks of this. Sam Bradford's a big, tall guy, but he can't get to that ball. It's the second time the ball has been high and right on snaps. Unfortunately, the ball has bounced back up to Sam Bradford, where he's been able to pick it up and get rid of the football instead of something worse happening.
He's a terrific athlete all around, Bradford. Guys at Oklahoma said he probably would have started on the Sooner basketball team. He's that good a basketball player.
He's a scratch golfer. I know how hard it is to do that.
I think it's impossible.
I really do.
In for a touchback. So the ball will come out to the 20, and Rivers and the Chargers need some big plays.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by FedEx. We understand you need a winning game plan. FedEx. The Home Depot. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. And by the all-new Volkswagen Jetta. It's great for the price of good. That's Das Auto.
Possession comparison.
Not good. And you look at how they started last week with the 2 block punts and 2 fumbles. Today, a little bit better, but 3 punts and an interception is not what you would expect to see out of a Norv Turner offense. They have been slow starting this year a little bit, but this is an offense that's gone over 500 yards twice this year. Now, ironically, you see their average, 461. Ironically, the 2 games they've gone over 500 yards, one of them being the Raider game last week. They've lost both of those games.
Yeah, they had 455 passing against Seattle and lost the game. Ryan Matthews runs again, doesn't get much. First year back, the #1 draft choice out of Fresno State. Niall Diggs, a veteran Ohio State linebacker, makes the stop from the outside, number 53.
Yep, this Rams defense is really playing aggressively and confidently today. There's no doubt about it. They are eager to set the record straight. They've played very well at home. If they can win this ball game, they'd be the first time since 2004 this team has won 3 games at home in a row.
They would triple their win production of a year ago. Here's Gates. Hard hit put on him. Antonio Gates is hit by James Butler, 37. Well, the Rams hadn't permitted more than 17 points in the first 4 games before their problems last Sunday. And they got a shutout going today.
Now, big 3rd down. This is one of the areas of strength for the Rams this whole season.
Third down, they need 5. Right on target, and he drops it. Boy, that is rare for Antonio Gates.
Oh, and I'll tell you what, that was a spectacular throw by Phillip Rivers.
Perfect.
It could not have been better. Watch him just rip this ball right in there. I mean, that could not have been placed any more perfectly. Craig Dahl, the safety, was in good position, but Phillip Rivers made the quick decision, got that ball up on time, and Antonio Gates, I don't know if he looked like he was in pain or upset with missing that pass. Oh, he got his foot rolled up again, it looked like.
And here's a punt hit downfield by Cyphers, another booming punt. Amendola looking for a gap, and look at Amendola work the field and get to the 33-yard line. son of a high school football coach in Texas. Amendola returns it 12 yards after a 54-yard punt. Back to St. Louis. Don Quickie with Steve Berline. Bradford, rookie quarterback, playing extremely well, and Jackson takes it up the middle. He started the day 141 yards away from breaking the Rams' all-time franchise rushing record held by Eric Dickerson. 13-yard gain on that power trap.
This has been a clinic from the St. Louis Rams as to how you would like to play the San Diego Chargers. They're moving the ball effectively on the ground and in the air. They've only run the ball. You see the graphic there. The big plays usually completely flipped, you'd expect, but St. Louis run the ball not too much, but very effectively.
Bradford buys time with a good fake. Overshoots his target, Amendola, on an out pattern. Antoine Cason, talking to Ron Rivera, he said they're really pleased with Antoine Cason. They were concerned when Cromartie left for the Jets how they'd be at that corner position, but number 20 has stood tall, and he said that with Quentin Jammer, they think it's two corners as good as any combo in the league.
Yeah, and Cason, as you said, a third-year guy, has got a couple of picks this year, but he has held up, and he gives Ron Rivera the confidence he can go one-on-one on the outside.
Steven Jackson is stopped as Paul Oliver, the strong safety, was coming on a blitz, and he was able to get an arm on him.
You're exactly right. He was unaccounted for. You're going to see right here, there's Oliver, who's going to bring it in off the edge. A little bit too late for anybody to adjust. Normally a quarterback in that situation, a play going into a safety blitz, the quarterback will make a call and make it go to the opposite side. You'd like to go opposite of a safety rotation. Right there, Sam Bradford either didn't see it or didn't have time to get it done.
Now Sam's got to look at this Charger rush that'll be coming. A fierce rush it is.
I'll tell you, Roger Saffold, the left tackle, you watch it.
False start. Offense number 76. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
He moves. He knows that he almost called the penalty on himself. He'll stand up, and you'll see he's right here. You'll see him as he flinches. He's going to say, "Oh, my bad, I did it." Oh, that was on me. That's what you got me. Sorry about that.
That compounds the difficulty now with a third and a very long 3rd and 17 for Bradford from the shotgun.
This is where Sam Bradford needs to be very careful.
Nice blitz pickup. Gilliard diving at the ball. Did he get it? He did. What a catch by rookie Marty Gilliard. A 21-yard gain on 3rd and 17.
And the thing that's awesome about this throw from Bradford's standpoint, this doesn't look like a great throw because Gilliard had to go down and get it, and Bradford, as always, standing there under pressure, standing strong, but this is the only place he could put that ball for it to be a completion. You saw Eric Weddle coming in to make the hit. Bradford knew he had to keep it down low to protect his receiver.
Rivera talked about the poise and confidence of Sam Bradford, and he stands right in there. He's not afraid of the rush.
You know, you look at the film on this guy, and I love it. I was a pocket guy myself, so I noticed that kind of stuff. And Bradford, when you see him standing back there in the pocket, when there's pressure coming, he looks almost oblivious, almost through the pressure, and will stand and deliver it, even knowing that he's going to get hit. And look at those passing yards. Phillip Rivers only 7 yards in the first quarter and a half. Amazing.
Rams leading throughout. Bradford, good mobility. Fire, he hit it on target. Beaver couldn't hold on to it. Badgema, the tight end. Big rush coming. Sean Phillips, who's had 2 sacks in each of the last 2 games.
And Sean Phillips with 6 sacks on the year. He is the guy that's been kind of tabbed and designated to replace Sean Merriman, who was placed on injured reserve this week and will not be back in a San Diego Chargers uniform, but they feel very strongly that Sean Phillips is the guy that can carry that torch.
Bradford now again from the shotgun. This is the offense he ran at Oklahoma. He's comfortable in this. Timing throw gets Bajema. Powering ahead. He did not get to the... Maybe he did. Looks like they're going to possibly give him a spot to the 30 where he had to go to get the first down. That was the line to gain.
Well, I can tell you that his helmet didn't make it to the first down, but I think Bajema himself and the football made it to the first down. You'll see a great individual effort here by Billy Bajema. Nice throw from Sam Bradford out there, and then you got Kaysen out there trying to make the stop on a much bigger man, and Billy Bajema wins that battle.
Bajema out of Oklahoma State. This drive has continued with conversions of 3rd and 17 and 3rd and 9. And Jackson powers ahead, and the St. Louis Rams are a really good-looking football team right now.
They really are. And, you know, Ron Rivera, when they go in at halftime, if not before, he's going to have to make some adjustments because this Rams offense right now has got a very good feel and a good mix going. They're playing with a lot of confidence. They've got a lot of rhythm, and they're basically doing what they want offensively, which has not happened very often against the San Diego Chargers.
Pat Shurmur, the Rams offensive coordinator, he has a game plan that is working. Now the Chargers slam the door on Steven Jackson. Cooper was the lead tackler, 54 inside linebacker from Maine, a free agent.
Well, we're almost in the red zone here, Don, and that's an area where the Rams struggled last week. They had 9 plays in the red zone, only had 9 total yards against Detroit. They had some opportunities to make plays. They just didn't do it last week, and they got blown out because of it.
Boy, did they get blown out. 44-6.
When you get down in this area, you've got to cash in. I mean, it's got to be at least a 50-50 thing.
Chargers, Steve, almost in a goal line defense. They got everybody up. On target. He gets it to Illinois Mike, they call him.
Cole Manawanui.
Cole Manawanui, that's the guy.
We can call him Illinois Mike if you'd like. I'd prefer to do that, but a nice pickup. You had Stephen Cooper in good coverage running with him in the flat, but Sam Bradford, that ball comes out on time, on the money, and another 3rd down conversion.
Third straight, 3rd down conversion on this drive. Bradford on target over the middle. Checking down to Steven Jackson. Jackson talked to us Friday about from day one you could see that Bradford had something different about him. He was here to work. He was here to get better. He wanted success right away. Ready to pay the price.
And he had presence. You know, he had presence, and you see what they've done so far on this drive. 5 rushes, 6 passes, taking up 6 minutes. We talked in the open about how important it is to keep San Diego and Phillip Rivers on the sideline. Well, they're doing that. And Bradford seems very comfortable out there doing it himself.
A lot of offensive looks. Timing throw on a slant pattern. Gibson almost breaks it for a touchdown. He is stopped at the 4-yard line of the Chargers. Eric Weddle saved the touchdown, but maybe not for long.
Well, you got to like what you see in these young wide receivers. That's not a pushover corner out there. That's Quentin Jammer. He's a Pro Bowler. He's been to Pro Bowl several times, but Gibson says, I don't care. I'm going to win and get to this football. These young receivers playing very well for the Rams in total yards. Again, a massacre to this point.
First and goal. Bradford gets some time. Almost lost the ball. It holds their breath when he goes down. That's how he was hurt twice with shoulder injuries.
He's going to lose a lot more if he tries to do that again. That's a very difficult lesson for a rookie quarterback to learn. But just watch the hit. This actually is probably helmet to helmet. That could be, you know, that he's a ball carrier. That's part of the deal. When you got the ball, you're going to get hit.
That's an illegal hit.
That's the crown of the helmet. It should be. I mean, very easily could be enforced, and maybe hearing from the league next week about that. For Bradford, he needs to be a little smarter. Get down and take your medicine. Take a 2-yard loss.
Taking a look, searching out the field. And they'll get him down at the 14-yard line. A sack. Luis Castillo was the first guy to get there as we're ticking down now to the 2-minute warning. This was a vicious hit.
Yeah, there are a lot of things that went wrong on this hit. Sam Bradford received it, but it could have been penalized very easily.
Warning.
We're back to St. Louis. Rams challenging again. Big day for rookie Sam Bradford. 14 of 23 for 161 yards and a touchdown.
And they're 3 of 3 on third down this drive. This is a tough one, though. 3rd and 13.
He throws. Amendola. He gets it down to the 2. So
Got a flag in the backfield, too, Don. It looks like the Chargers are a little upset.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, blow to the head. Number 98, half the distance to the goal. First down.
That's Antoine Barnes. He called him number 98. And that's a huge mistake by San Diego, and we'll check it out. Maybe it's a, oh no, that, you know, if there ever was a makeup call, that might be it. They could have called it on the previous, 2 plays previous on the head-to-head. Right there, I think Antoine Barnes got a bad deal there. That was to the chest and shoulder area.
Well, that changes everything. Now it's 1st and goal. Look at these defenders run. These huge guys can run like punt returners. Antonio Garay chased him out of bounds. They really appreciate the contribution of Antonio Garay at nose tackle. He's a blocker occupier.
Well, look at the back of the end zone, and because of the pressure on Sam Bradford, he couldn't get to Billy Badgema right here in the back of the end zone. He was wide open, but Sam Bradford could not get his shoulder turned due to the pursuit, the dogged pursuit of Antonio Garay. Great job by the nose tackle.
Rivera had Garay at Chicago. He was on the practice squad there. And here is a dive to the end zone by Steven Jackson. Touchdown Rams. Boy, the good times are rolling in St. Louis right now.
They sure are. I'll tell you, San Diego's going to come out a different team in the second half, I'm sure. A little inside trap from the 7-yard line, and Steven Jackson, he knows how to sniff that end zone. He'll get to it fully extended. Great play.
Says he wants to be a 10K, 5K man. He joined that elite group that's rushed for over 10,000 yards and caught passes for over 5,000.
Great timing on the play call. Inside trap. Touchdown Rams, 17-0.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the new Silver Bullet aluminum pint from Coors Light, official beer sponsor of the NFL. And by McDonald's. I'm loving it.
Coming up on the Sprint halftime report. We'll be joining the guys in New York. And this, perhaps the most surprising game of the day. Look at what the Rams are doing today.
Look at that drive. 17 plays, 8 minutes, 67. I was concerned about this being a blowout, Don, today, but not quite this way. I was thinking the Chargers might be in this position.
Darren Sproles getting a lot of work as a kickoff returner. Looks to turn the corner. He does. Darren Sproles, they remember him well at Kansas State. A former Wildcat. Darby was on the stop. Sprint halftime report featuring JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Cowher with all the latest scores and highlights. It's all coming up on the Sprint halftime report. But this is an astounding turn of events.
It really is. I mean, you know, look at the domination now. There's a minute 32, and this is where Phillip Rivers is at his most dangerous. Plenty of time if they can get some things going offensively. They need to come out of this with at least a field goal for San Diego.
He puts it on the hands of Darren Sproles. A well-executed play by the Chargers. Gets out of bounds with 1:26 to play. 11-yard gain.
And what I can tell you is that there is nothing that St. Louis can do to distract or cause Phillip Rivers to lose his confidence. He is a gunslinger. Norv Turner is going to continue to be aggressive. St. Louis is playing fantastic, but these guys will keep throwing punches the whole way.
Well, they're going to go away. You don't win in how many games these guys win. Rivers sacked again. James Hall gets him.
And that's James Hall's 5th sack of the year.
Steve Spagnuolo
San Diego.
told his team after that bad loss, get right back to business, put it behind you. Let's be pros and win. Don Criqui with Steve Spurrier. Berline. Spurrier had that big win. We can't get him off our minds. Here now is the 2nd down and 12 play coming up. And it's James Hall who jumps a little bit early from the right side. But you know
Offside.
that
96.
Rivers, Steve,
Defense unabated to the quarterback. 5-yard penalty. Second.
is a guy who can make it happen fast.
Oh, he can. And that's what these Chargers are counting on right now. Look at the pressure. 5 sacks. That's 16 on the year. That's too many. You want to keep Phillip Rivers standing for the whole season.
7 hurries and 6 hits. Oh, what a catch. Darren Sproles fields it ankle high on the move.
You are 100% right, Don. That was a truly spectacular catch by Sproles right there. I mean, let's even question if it is a catch until we see for sure. And that ball, he had both hands on it. The ball did touch the ground. I don't think that Steve Spagnuolo is going to challenge it.
Apparently not. 1:12 to play in the half. Beautifully timed pattern. Patrick Creighton, a former Cowboy. And look at the Chargers. All of a sudden, they're at their best. That was a 28-yard gain, and the clock running with 55 seconds to play in the half.
And this is how they do it. I mean, they can get up the field in a hurry.
A bit high. Target was Malcolm Floyd. They've done a pretty good job, Steve, on slowing down Malcolm Floyd today, who had those 8 catches for 213 yards last week.
Here's the pass to Creighton, which, by the way, was a fantastic. Look at how long he waits to put his hands up. King had no chance to read when that ball was coming. But one thing that's precariously missing here for the Chargers, you see number 85 out there. Antonio Gates is not on the field at this point.
An apparent leg injury earlier in the game has hampered Gates. 2nd and 10. Checks down. Good tackle. Keeps the player in field. Can't stop the clock on that. Bartell makes the stop.
Timeout. San Diego.
And the Chargers call a timeout with 34 seconds left to play in the half. We're back to St. Louis. Chargers with the ball at the 23-yard line. The #1 offense in the NFL, shut out so far today by the Rams.
And 3rd and 6, they're 0 for 4 on 3rd down today as well. No Antonio Gates on the field.
They're sending blitzes. Great pickup. Throw to the end zone. Very close to contact. Creighton was the target. Justin King was defending. Clock stops with 28 seconds to go in the half.
We're going to look and see whether this was a play that might be worth challenging again for Steve Spagnuolo. Was there a catch made?
No.
Nope, that ball hit the ground for sure. Here comes a field goal. And, the Chargers love to have had 7 there, but a field goal at least gives them some confidence going in.
Nate Kading from 41. 87% career. That's the best ever in the NFL. Percentage of field goals made. Hasn't been that good, though, in the postseason. But the Chargers are finally on the board, but well down.
Tickets are $25.
Steve, you have a long history with North Turner, going all the way back to high school.
I do. North Turner recruited me out of Servite High School in Anaheim. And we look at his offense struggling today when he was coaching at USC. And then I had the opportunity to play for him in Dallas for a couple of years, and think the world of him as a football coach and as a person. Right now he's got his work cut out for him. They're going to have to really get this thing coordinated in the second half. But one thing I know North Turner will not do, he will not panic. He'll stick with his plan, and they'll find a way to get something done.
Cyphers kicks off, and very well. Amendola will down it. And the Chargers go on defense now with only 3 points on the board from their offense. Tomorrow on CBS, Hawaii Five-0 is turning up the heat and laying down the law. Don't miss TV's #1 news show, Hawaii Five-0 tomorrow, only CBS. Bradford in the first half, 15 of 24 throwing the ball for 172 yards and 1 touchdown. Was fortunate a couple times, Steve. Could have been picked.
No doubt. We're going to see him just take a knee right now. This is the right thing to do. Take that 17-3 lead into the half.
Absolutely.
Sam Bradford playing very well. This whole Rams team playing very well.
Take your winnings to the locker room. The end of the first half of the score. The Rams 17. The Chargers 3. We'll be back with a Sprint halftime report after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
That's the end of the first half.
Shocking first half. The Rams leading the Chargers 17-3. John Cricky with Steve Berline. A week ago, the Rams were humiliated at Detroit 44-6. That must have been their twin brothers playing out there. This is a different team.
They're doing the humiliating today. The Chargers are the team that's being humiliated right now. And I'll tell you, I was thinking going into this game, the best the Rams could hope for would be in this ball game in the fourth quarter. Right now, they're in complete control of this ball game, and I am shocked, to be perfectly honest with you.
And I'll take a look at the points of protection presented by Allstate.
Well, a lot of big things happened in that first half. One thing that cannot happen to the Chargers, they've got to protect Phillip Rivers to have a better chance to get back in this ball game. 5 sacks already. Offensively, boy, you'd figure that'd be absolutely flipped from what it actually is. 200-plus yards for St. Louis, less than 100 for San Diego, and then 0 for 5 San Diego on third down. St. Louis doing a great job on third down. And then you talk about the rookie sensation, Sam Bradford, 15 of 20, 472 yards, and the big touchdown to Denario Alexander. It could not have gone more perfectly for the St. Louis Rams than it did.
And Steve, what really recommends Bradford in his performance as a rookie, he's completed passes to 8 different receivers. He's seeing everybody.
You're 100% right, Don. He has been very, very comfortable out there on the football field and in complete control. He's gotten rid of the ball when he's had to get rid of it. He maybe has 1 or 2 throws he'd like to have back. When that happens to everybody every game, he's taking advantage of his opportunities to make plays.
But he is making plays. Now the Chargers kick off. Artie Gilliard, the rookie from Cincinnati, a 4th-round draft choice. And he's out to the 21-yard line. They've been calling him Super Sam before long. Sam Bradford takes the field again. A rookie from Oklahoma.
Well, look what he did in the first half. They started out throwing quick passes to try and get a feel for what San Diego was going to do. He was very accurate with it. And then when the opportunity presented itself, they got a little more comfortable with what was going on. The beautiful bomb to Denario Alexander. Sam Bradford loved it. Everybody in this building loved it, except if you're wearing the Chargers version of blue and gold.
Chargers, I need to get a stop. Out pattern. It skips off the receiver. Gilliard didn't look like he was ready for it.
No, that was a miscommunication totally between Sam Bradford and Gilliard. Bradford expecting him to hook it up on the outside and get that quick completion. You can see that quarterback comparison right now. The rating for Phillip Rivers about 60 points below what it normally is on the season, what his average is, and Bradford's up about 30%.
Yeah, he comes in at 105+ passer rating. Straight ahead. You're talking to Steve Spagnuolo on Friday. He was talking about the process of picking Bradford. He said the abilities were all there, but he said the general manager, Billy Devaney, who was head of pro personnel for the Chargers for 11 years. He said they did a sensational job of scouring every possible medical aspect of his recovery after shoulder reconstruction. All reports were every way they could test him, he was 100% sound, and he's certainly looking to be. And he looks like the future of the franchise at this point. This time Bradford under the rush. Can't get much behind it. Looking at Badgett and his tight end. Castillo getting pressure.
Well, that's exactly what the San Diego Chargers needed, to come out and get a quick 3 and out. Try and get some confidence, some momentum, some energy, positive energy coming off that field goal did in the first half. They know they can't mess around that much longer. The Rams have been dictating to them.
Darren Sproles back now for the Chargers to run one back. A punt return as Jones ready to hit the ball. Left foots it, end over end, tough to handle. Big hop. Sproles at the 29. Those short legs can turn over fast. And Peel was down to make the stop, but Rivers and the Charger offense now going out looking for points. We're back to St. Louis. The Chargers down 17-3. Winless on the road this season. They were the best road team in the NFL last season in the regular season, 7-1. And now let's see what they do on their first possession of the second half. Rivers 9 of 16 for only 83 yards passing in the first half. Nicely timed throw, but not much yardage. Malcolm Floyd turning up. Bartell makes the hit on him, but they've done a really good job on Malcolm Floyd, who had a historic day last week.
He did, but you know, a lot of his success goes to other people on the field. One we don't see out there when scanning the field is number 85, Antonio Gates. We're told that his return is questionable. He's got a leg injury. Don't know anything more specific than that.
That is huge because he's such a focal point of this offense. Floyd last week had 154 yards receiving in the first half, most ever by a Charger. Ryan Matthews tries the middle. Fred Robbins, a big run stopper from Wake Forest, makes the hit.
Now look, these are guys now for the Chargers that you expect big numbers out of. Phillip Rivers averaging 350 yards a game. Look at those numbers. Antonio Gates only 12 yards receiving today, and Malcolm Floyd coming off the 213-yard performance last week. Not a factor to this point.
The Jones Dome sold out, and it's loud as Rivers has a third and needs 6. Buster Davis can't hold on. So the Chargers have to punt it right back to the Rams.
And that is still no third down conversions today for the San Diego Chargers.
0 for 6. There's Amendola back now for the Rams, and he really was the igniter today. In the first half, after they got a stop of the Chargers, he ran back the first punt of the day, 43 yards to midfield. And soon after, the Rams had 3 points on a field goal. They'll let this one hit in the end zone. So Cypher kicked it a long way, but into the end zone, and now it come out to the 20. Bradford ready to go again.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Corona, who invites you to find your beach. And by TD Ameritrade.
Tonight on CBS, the CEO of Frontier Airlines is going undercover, taking on tough jobs and earning his wings the hard way. It's an all-new Undercover Boss tonight, only CBS. Hard for a quarterback to stay undercover.
It is.
The whole world's hunting him. Everybody's looking at him.
Yeah, he is a marked man. Sam Bradford doing a great job. You know, we talked to him. He admitted that he has many moments where he feels completely lost out there, which I tried to convey to him is perfectly normal for a young quarterback. that by this time next year he's going to be able to laugh at how little he knows right now. But boy, he's handling it well.
Well, he was very appreciative of what you offered him. You were a 17-year veteran of the league, but talking about how next year everything gets easier.
It does. You're looking at a kid that has not had a break since basically since before the draft last year. He has not had a chance to really sit down and process anything. It's just been all about being the first pick of the draft, the #1 guy for this franchise, the face, the expectations. He's going to enjoy his offseason, but right now he's having fun leading this football team.
And he's leading them very well to a 17-3 lead. Steven Jackson told us Friday, he said he likes to run against 3-4 defenses like the Chargers. Actually, I think he likes to run against anybody. But
I think he just likes carrying that pigskin. You're going to see right here just a straight ahead little run right up the gut. He does a good job of feeling the soft spot, and that's why he likes running against a 3-4 defense. 3-4 meaning that there's 3 down linemen, 4 linebackers. One of the guards is almost always uncovered, and you like to run to that side.
Big defense by the Chargers. Castillo, 290-pound, 6-year veteran from Northwestern. Again, sheds the block and makes a head-on hit, so the Rams have to punt the ball.
That's a huge stop for this San Diego defense. Ron Rivera has made some adjustments, fairly obvious to note that. 2 3-and-outs on the first 2 drives of this second half. Now it's up to the offense to see if they can get something going. This Rams defense has played at a very high level all day today.
They've been very, very aggressive. They've been attacking. They've been making plays. And they help lead the game 17-3, the Rams advantage. High punt. Sproles, he'll run it back. Boy, he's got a quick turnover. Everything he says, pumping those legs. Daniel Fells on the coverage. And the Chargers will try again.
Well, I want you to look at this right here. Watch the safety right here, Jerome Murphy, and then look at the route run right through here in the last series. You're going to see a big opportunity for San Diego for a touchdown. Philip Rivers missed it, and he had a little conversation with Norv Turner on the sideline about it. They both realized they missed an opportunity. You don't get those opportunities too often, and Philip Rivers does not miss them very often.
Especially today. They've had very few opportunities. Matthews continues to run the ball. That's his 8th carry for 36 yards.
Well, what happens, you know, Norv Turner, you see right there, they're saying, boy, that guy up over the top, I missed him. Philip Rivers probably didn't see it on the field, but looked at the picture on the sideline, the Polaroids they look at and review, and they realized Norv Turner probably said, hey, look at the deep guy. That was Patrick Creighton running through uncovered. We can't miss those anymore, Philip, if we want to get back in this ball game.
Chargers with no touchdowns have been across midfield only twice today.
Haven't even been in the red zone today.
They have not. Matthews. He takes a hard hit. There's a stretch run. How about the Patriots and the Ravens? Big game at Gillette. Here's James Brown.
Don and Steve, Baltimore trying to get a little breathing room on the Patriots off of a Tom Brady pick. Joe Flacco makes him pay up top to Anquan Boldin. 4th touchdown reception of the season for Anquan. 7th toss of the season for Flacco. 17-7 Baltimore. Back to Don Criqui and Steve Berline.
Thank you, JB. So the Ravens are rallied from behind. Great defense, and they've held Brady and the Patriots to just 7.
And the Chargers hoping to get their first 3rd down conversion of the day. But, yeah, I'll tell you, Don, that Baltimore team looks good.
Yeah, they're good on both sides of the ball. There is a give straight ahead and a hard run by Darren Sproles for a 1st down. Chiefs and the Texans go back to JB.
Kansas City looking to improve, Don, to 4-1. Take a look at Matt Castle, little slant route there run by Dwayne Bowe. Run after the catch. He makes it a 42-yard pass play. It is 21-7 KC in the 3rd over Houston. Don and Steve.
Look at that surprising AFC West. Kansas City is drafting character also. Their 7 draft choices all served as college captains on their respective teams. Rolling out Ed Robbins putting the heat on. The big guy, 325, can run. And he puts a hit on Philip Rivers.
Philip Rivers didn't like the way that this play ended. He thought that it was a little unnecessary. But, you know, he's worried about getting his knees rolled up. A big man like that rolling up down the lower part of the body below the waist. Philip Rivers has had his share of knee issues over the past, too. He's had knee surgery, so.
Second down. Matthews comes out wide. Open backfield. Got to make it happen fast. Tremendous tackle by Bartell. 24 on 24. You're talking about hitting quarterbacks, though, Steve. You know the feeling of 17 years in the league. But Norm Schechter, a longtime NFL referee, told me one time the #1 assignment of an NFL referee is to protect the quarterback.
I am not surprised. Now, I can tell you this. It wasn't always that way. There wasn't quite as much a premium on it when they weren't paying the quarterbacks quite as much money as they are now. But they got to have these guys on the field.
Third down, and the Chargers need 12. Rams come with 4. What a pass catch combo. Patrick Creighton, the former Cowboy. A 14-yard gain on 3rd and 12. A big play, and the Chargers now starting to get up to speed on offense.
Don, this is a big boy catch right here. Patrick Creighton, he knows he's going to get lit up. There aren't many friendly guys in that neighborhood where he caught that ball. He knew he was going to get popped, but he knew he had to pull it in for his team, and Philip Rivers gave him the ball in a good spot where he didn't have to extend himself, protected him as much as he could.
First down. Norv Turner likes Cowboys. He was the offensive coordinator on back-to-back Super Bowl winners in Dallas. You were on one of them. Here is now a swing pass to Ryan Matthews, and multiple play calls. Going deep into the book, a 13-yard gain, and the Chargers offense is starting to look like the Chargers offense.
Truly is. And Philip Rivers, you can see the confidence brimming a little bit. The thing that he knows about this offense, that Norv Turner gives him the opportunity, he knows now, he's been in long enough where everybody is on the field, and he can feel when those backs are left unopen, and he'll deliver most of the time.
First down. Rivers, beautifully timed throw. Again, it's Creighton, so Creighton's finding spots in that defense, Steve, and Rivers is searching them out.
Well, you can see the intensity right there in Philip Rivers. He's feeling good. They're protecting him a lot better this half. Boy, that could have been I believe that was Marcus McNeil ripping the helmet off of the right defensive end for the St. Louis Rams, but nonetheless, didn't distract Philip Rivers. He delivered a big strike.
And the Chargers with the #1 offense in the NFL. This is their first time today in the Rams red zone. Inside the 20. Oh, what a throw. A beauty to Darren Sproles. Larry Grant covering as best he could, but now it's 1st and goal for the Chargers after an 11-yard gain.
And watch this. This is one of the things that you can't coach. A player like Philip Rivers, he's got to feel this receiver, Darren Sproles, coming in the flat. You see him covered. There is good coverage on the play by Larry Grant, but Philip Rivers knows that Larry Grant's got his back to him, that he's got a little window to stick it on him, and man, he stuck it right on him. You see this quarter, San Diego with 5 first downs. That was a big one right there.
And Rivers has now hit his last 5 passes. Mike Tolbert. He had a goal line fumble last week against the Raiders that was expensive.
And I was just going to say that, Don, that this is the area where Norv Turner has really put his focus. Everybody's talking about the special teams, but this is a Rams team that has 6 fumbles by their running backs this year. 9 fumbles overall here. They had 7 the whole season last year, but 5 of the fumbles this year have been in the red zone. He needs his young running backs to step up and protect that football.
There's a power set now. Fullback lead. And the Chargers take it in. Tolbert on the payoff end, and San Diego's right back in the game. He loves the fullback lead, Norv Turner.
He sure does, and you need to give the San Diego defense as much credit here because of the fact they've gotten the ball back. They've come out and played hard, given the offense the opportunity, and right there, Jacob Hester, good lead block up inside, did just enough. Tolbert, I'll tell you, I would not want to try to tackle this guy. He is about 5'8" and about 245 pounds, and he is low to the ground, and he brings some pop.
So the Chargers go 68 yards in 11 plays, converting 2 third downs on the way.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Sony and by Toyota.
The San Diego Chargers just traveled 68 yards in 11 plays, using up 5:48. The Rivers a reason to feel a lot better right now. He was 5 of 6 on that drive, and now his passing numbers for the day are improving. Pretty well down there earlier. Here's Amendola. Got the great change of direction quickness. Now let's see if the Rams can run a drive and answer. Phillip Rivers can only stand and wait for another chance to get back out there. His team finally getting production into the end zone on the last drive, but the Rams still lead the game. It's now 17-10.
If you're Sam Bradford, you're saying we got to eat some time off that clock. But it'd be great to get at least a field goal, make it a 2-score game on this drive.
Jackson, what a back he is. Not only the production he has, but just to carry that many times, 300 plus a season.
Well, he's built to handle it. I mean, he can take the load. He is a big person. And I'll tell you, he sees the seam. He doesn't hesitate. He gets up in there. And this is the first time in 3 weeks he's actually been healthy. He's been fighting a really painful, really nagging groin injury. This week he said he's 100%.
Yeah, said he was fine. Second, almost 3. Jackson out to the 45-yard line. Eric Weddle makes the stop. First down for the Rams.
I'll tell you, that was a nice play off the right side of this Rams offensive line, and a tremendous cutback by Steven Jackson. Watch the ability to see and sense that cutback lane. Boom, there it is, right back behind everybody. And if Weddle did not make that tackle, that low tackle, I think Steven Jackson would have run through the next one and had a chance to take it all the way.
And that was the first down of the second half for the Rams. Both these teams with a history of playing in Los Angeles. Once the Los Angeles Chargers, and of course the Los Angeles Rams. And there is one of the great Rams, Eric Dickerson. A lot of great Rams. Right now, Jackson is closing in on the all-time rushing mark for the Rams.
67 yards needed to become, or 68 needed to become number 1. 67 to tie Eric Dickerson. And what an accomplishment that would be for Steven Jackson.
Here's a goal setter. That's to be a 10,000, 5,000 man. 10,000 rushing, 5,000 receiving. And Bradford, they don't like to see this, and he does the right thing as he slides to a safe, sure halt at the 50-yard line. Got a couple.
Well, Sam Bradford is a smart young man. You hit him one time in the head like he got hit down there in the first half.
He really got hit.
He's going to learn his lesson, and I think he was probably told very clearly by Steve Spagnuolo, I don't want to see any more out of that from you. You don't need to prove anything to anybody. We know you're tough. We know you can take a hit. We need you on the field.
Well, he's been effective. Has hit 16 of 27 for 176 yards and a touchdown. Has not been intercepted.
Here's Mario Alexander in motion right there.
Bradford reached 7 on this throw. Oh, the timing was very close. Mario Alexander was the target. Donald Strickland timed it perfectly and broke it up. Rams have to punt.
Yep, I had a gut feeling that they were going to try and get a play to Alexander. Just a little bit off on the timing. These are guys that, as you stated earlier, Don, Tenario Alexander, this is his first game back, coming off those knee injuries, and Sam Bradford and he haven't had many reps together. So the Chargers are going to get another shot here if Sproles can field this punt cleanly.
Darren Sproles standing back at the 10-yard line. High punt, be tough to return, though. Fair catch it. Terrific football player he is, right? Darren Sproles, every way you can measure one. Wednesday on CBS, with a senator as their client, the stakes have never been higher. Jim Belushi and Jerry O'Connell are the defenders. Wednesday, only CBS. It's a terrific show.
Well, I'll tell you, the St. Louis Rams need to become defenders right here as well on Sunday afternoon. See that last drive, 68 yards. And what you also saw was a very, very methodical drive. Doesn't matter what happened in the previous possessions. They knew what they were doing there, and now they're back in this ball game.
Rams have sacked Phillip Rivers 5 times today. Ryan Matthews gets out close to the 20. And up close to 5.
Well, we're going to look at that last drive. Phillip Rivers and Patrick Creighton hooked up on the big third down play there, and then again a nice conversion to that left side, and finished off by the powerful running of Mike Tolbert. Phillip Rivers and company very excited coming off that field, like, okay, we finally got a little rhythm. We've been looking for it all day. Let's see if they can put it together for another drive here.
They finally unlocked the Rams defense in that drive. We'll see if they can do it again with a 2nd and 5 coming up. Look at this blitz. They come, and they come fast. Buster Davis was the target.
I'll tell you, that was Ron Bartell on the well-timed blitz, and I'm very impressed with what that defense is doing today. You know, Steve Spagnuolo has always been known as he's come right up the seam there. You're going to see Bartell coming up that seam. He was coming clean. And Clint Flagiole, the defensive coordinator for St. Louis, they've done a great job of keeping San Diego off guard.
Plays get bigger as the game wears on. 3rd down and 5 for the Chargers. Rivers throws, and it's broken up. With a tight end, Randy McMichael standing there waiting for the ball, but then Jerome Murphy, a first-year player from Florida State, came in and knocked it away.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jerome Murphy, you're going to see has a chance at the interception, but if he just lets the deflection go, James Laurinaitis is right there to catch it, and he tipped it into his head. So Laurinaitis is coming out the field. He said, man, I was right there. I had it. You knocked it into my face. Great play by Jerome Murphy, though.
And the Chargers have to punt the ball again. Amendola's back. Big punt from the 21. And very good special teams coverage by a beleaguered unit for the Chargers. It took a lot of heat this week. 59-yard punt and a 5-yard return. Next Sunday, the NFL on CBS delivers doubleheader action highlighted by the Steelers against the Dolphins, and the Patriots head to San Diego to meet the Chargers. Check local listings beginning with the NFL Today. We know, Steve Berline, that the Chargers are a team that can go on a run. They had a 2-3 start last year, went on an 11-game win streak.
Yeah, they've been 2-3 the last 4 years. They've won the AFC West all 4 of those years. So, or the previous 3 years, I should say.
Now as the game wears on and the Rams looking to protect the lead, which is now down to 7 points, they get a little more conservative in their play calls.
Well, they do, and they probably should at this point. But look at what's happened. We've talked about the Chargers. 2-3 all 4 of the years, counting this year as well. They've always rebounded. Obviously, the 2008 season right there, that was the collapse of the Denver Broncos that allowed them to get back into the hunt to finish 8-8 and win that division. But Norv Turner, he told us that this team will not panic. They've been here before. They'd rather not, but they're here and they're going to deal with it and hope to get on a run.
And we'll do it for 3 quarters with the Rams in the lead 17-10. We'll return to St. Louis after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
Stop drop and roll, we got soul. Say popped off when we locked and load. So this is how we get this done. You can check on the rep, yep, second to none.
Back at the Jones Dome, where playing conditions are always perfect. The Rams were that pretty much for the most of the first half as they built a 17-0 lead. Now the Chargers have rallied back. They're down 17-10 as we start the fourth quarter. Jackson, big defensive play. Eric Weddle, a safety, came on a run blitz, made the stop.
That was a great play by Eric Weddle, coming off the left side of the Rams offensive unit, the right side of the defensive unit. Timed it up perfectly. You're going to see here he is right here at the top, straight on in, and gets down low. Hey, if I'm a defensive player under 240 pounds, I'm going low on Steven Jackson too. I'm not going to try and take him on high. That is a load. Good solid tackle by Eric Weddle for a loss of 1.
Big third down now, 3rd and 11. Bradford against a 4-man rush. Timing throw, and the Chargers defense is all over it. Amendola makes the play, but Strickland is in a lot of plays as an extra DB. Makes the stop way short of the first down.
Yeah, you can just sense this San Diego defense, and you got to give credit to Ron Rivera, the defensive coordinator right there, for the adjustments that they've made in this second half. You really felt in the first half that Ron Rivera really did not know where the Rams were coming from offensively. This half, he's got a real good feel for the pulse of that offense, and it's almost been like a complete switch.
Donnie Jones, number 5, ready to punt the ball for the Rams. Rolls his back. Odd-looking punt. Directional punt. Well played. Well done. They don't allow Sproles a chance to run it back. But the Chargers do have the ball after a 44-yard punt, all net yards. Coming up on the Subway postgame show, join JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Cowher for all the latest NFL scores and highlights. It's all coming up on the Subway postgame show. Phillip Rivers and the Chargers going 1st and 10, down by 7. Boy, that is beautiful. That is big league football.
On time on the sideline, and expect to see a little bit more of Buster Davis for 2 reasons. One, Antonio Gates not on the field, and right there, add to their list of woes, Malcolm Floyd is on the sideline. We're told he's got a hamstring issue. Buster Davis doing a great job getting those feet down. Malcolm Floyd and Antonio Gates both out of the lineup right now for the Chargers.
Tremendous losses. 17-yard gain on that last pass play. Matthews. Rivers felt he was going to bust one.
Yep, he told us that that's what he brings. He's got that juice in his overall game, and that explosion. When he gets the seam, he can take it to the next level. You'll see a great job blocking down and kicking out by the offensive line, and Hester with the kick out gives him a nice big seam for a 14-yard gain. And we talk about what Phillip Rivers is missing on the field with Malcolm Floyd and Antonio Gates. You know what? He doesn't care. He doesn't care who's out there on the field. Obviously, he'd like to have all of his weapons, but he's going to read coverage and go to the ball to the player that's going to give him the best chance to get a big gain. It doesn't matter who it is.
Blitz picked up, swing pass, incomplete. Matthews coming out of the backfield as a check down. Safety valve. Brian Keogh running with him.
Steve Spagnuolo, you know, he's still in control. If you would have told him this far into the ball game that he'd have a 17-10 lead, he'd take it in a heartbeat prior to the game, I guarantee you. But he knows that this San Diego team is kind of starting to figure out the combination a little bit. He's got to change it up, keep them on their heels.
But as this second half wears on, you can sense the Charger momentum picking up. 2nd and 10. Sack. Fred Robbins, he has been tremendous for the Rams today. 6th sack of Rivers.
And that's exactly what the doctor ordered, the doctor being Steve Spagnuolo. 4-man rush, no real excuse for the San Diego Chargers offensive line. But you see Luis Vasquez, the right guard, just getting pushed back almost like he was on roller skates. And I hate to point out those offensive linemen, but boy, Fred Robbins did a good job getting underneath Luis Vasquez and carried him back to Phillip Rivers.
3rd and 14. Rams blitz. Rivers waits. Makes a throw. That's just sensational.
Wow, what a throw and catch.
17 yards on 3rd and 14.
Tremendous. And we were told by North Turner and
Unbelievable.
Phillip Rivers that to keep an eye on this Buster Davis. He's a guy that they felt was going to have a chance to make a few plays today. He's made a couple on this drive. Look at this. Look at the knee down. No doubt the knee down inbounds is all it takes.
Buster Davis is a 4th-year receiver from LSU. 6'1", 210. Swing pass. Matthews thunders down to the 25-yard line, and with a lot of time left and the Chargers down by 7, they really are picking up speed.
They are. They are. And it's not been easy. And they had to convert a 3rd and 14 right there. But the one thing we know, Floyd sitting there, Malcolm Floyd sitting there watching from the sideline. One thing we do know is that this San Diego Chargers team is going to keep on swinging. They'll keep chugging right along, trying to make plays.
But you said, Steve Berline, about Rivers doesn't care who's out there.
He doesn't.
He doesn't have Gates right now. Here's a great ahead give. Matthews gets some help from his line, pushing from behind, close to the 20.
And Don, that's a great point, though. Just to go back on what I mean by that. A lot of quarterbacks around the league and at different levels, they'll say, I don't have very good wide receivers, and the media will build that up. Phillip Rivers has never used that as an excuse. You plug in the receivers, you put them out on the field, you work with them, you get to be as good as you can. You say, who's on my team? And if the coverage takes me to that guy, I'm going to put the ball where I got to put it, and we're going to make a play. It's a great attitude for a quarterback.
And he's making plays when it counts the most down the stretch. 10-13 to play. Jacob Hester, another LSU player. He powers ahead.
And Don, it's been a complete reversal in the second half of 3rd down play. We saw the graphic right before that play there showing San Diego did not convert a 3rd down in the first half. They've converted 4 in this second half. On the other side of the coin, the Rams have not converted a 3rd down this second half when they had pretty good success in the first half on 3rd down.
Agnolo, who engineered the giant upset of the Patriots in that 07 season in the Super Bowl, trying to find a way now to stop this onslaught. Rivers, he's going to get a lot of yards, but there's a penalty marker down in the backfield. Thrown by the referee.
Holding, offense, number 81. 10-yard penalty, first down.
McMichael, a tight end, called for holding. That's one way to slow this Charger offense. Get him on a flag.
Well, you know, the sad thing about this for the Chargers is that, watch right here, you're going to see Chris Wilson go up and across the field. He was wide open, and Phillip Rivers does not miss many of these, but right there, he could put that ball up to the side. Before the holding took place, he had a chance to go up and over to Chris Wilson. That's the kind of throws you kind of get used to seeing Phillip Rivers make.
Tough play call here, though, Steve. A 1st and 20 on the 27-yard line. Pump fake. Throw. Davis can't hold on at the 10-yard line. Going right into the teeth of that secondary. You can get hurt.
That ball was thrown on time and in a good spot where only Buster Davis can make the catch. Phillip Rivers did not want to lay out his receiver, and Buster Davis, to play in the NFL, that's a catch you got to make more times than not. It's a tough catch, but you're expected to make that catch at this level. It's hard to get open in the NFL.
Is it? You got to get it in chunks now. It's 2nd down and 20 for the Chargers. Time becoming a bit of a factor. 9 minutes to go. They get him again. James Hall. 7th sack by the Ram defense of Phillip Rivers.
And the 2nd sack today by James Hall, his 6th on the season. And you're just going to see it just coming around that left edge. There's nothing fancy going on. Who's he beating? Ooh, The big left tackle, Marcus McNeil, his first game back, looking a little bit rusty there. He did sign September 25th, came back in and signed the tender offer at a reduced rate, and then worked out the details of his contract last week. Looked a little bit rusty. For all that money, he's got to hold up a little better for Phillip Rivers.
On third down, Rivers takes a look and throws it away as the rush is on him again. So now with fourth down coming up.
Yeah. North Turner not happy at this point, but again, 8 minutes left. You can try and pin the Rams deep in their territory.
Kading, a 7-year veteran from Iowa, with a 49-yard attempt. Ashley Brock. Rams take over the ball.
Yep.
He slipped and kicked it low.
And I incorrectly was thinking they were going to punt there. They went for the field goal, Don, and blocked for sure. The kicker slipped. Kading kicked, slipped before the kick. You'll see his left foot right here.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Cadillac, the new standard of the world. Rogue Skyline. On November 12th, our first encounter will be our last stand. And by Bud Light. It's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go.
Looked like Kading, number 10, slipped on that 49-yard field goal try. So the Rams take over in good field position at their 39 with a 7-point lead and 8:11 to play. Blitzes are picked up. Bradford waits. Gets a first down. Got a feeling Stevie was thinking about sliding, but then, hey, there's the stick. Let's get it.
Well,
11 yards.
The perfect play would have been to slide right there as he was getting to that first down marker, just to keep that clock running. You can see the Rams' second half possessions. They punted every single time. You know, the one thing that's been tremendous on top of how well Sam Bradford played in the first half, no turnovers. They've punted whenever they've been in trouble, protected the football, and a nice little run there showing his athletic ability.
Rams only 2 first downs in the second half. That time, the target was Demario Alexander. If the Rams can get in field goal position, it would be huge if they could extend their lead to 10. As time is now becoming more and more a factor. 7:41 to play.
Holding, defense, number 20, 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Antoine Cason guilty of the hold. That's a big man on the outside, Denario Alexander, 6'5", 230. And I just don't know. I mean, it was in the 5-yard chuck zone. You're allowed to hit up to within 5 yards. They were bump and run. That is a questionable call.
Very iffy. But the Rams are beneficiaries, and the blitzer comes up. Weddle, he's a really good blitzer out of Utah. Trying to get the quarterback. They go to a draw, and he gets the ball carrier.
Yep, made a nice adjustment, planted off that left foot, and made the tackle on Steven Jackson. This Chargers defense really has stepped up in the second half. The question remains now if it's early enough that they stepped up. This offense showed a little bit of signs of life for San Diego, but the Rams have kind of knuckled down and gotten back in their rhythm on defense as well. So
the assignment for the Chargers D, get a stop out of field goal range. 2nd and 10. Third and 10.
Oh, great play right there.
Cooper.
By Steven Cooper, yeah. Timed it up just right. Now you got 3rd and 10. And these 3rd and longs, Don, I mentioned it earlier in the game. Bradford had a 3rd and long, made a nice throw down the middle of the field to Gilliard. Right now, 3rd and 10. You got to be really careful. You know, if you don't complete the pass for the first down, you definitely want to make sure you don't give the Chargers the ball back. You want to give your punter a chance to pin him deep.
This is it, 3rd and 10. Bradford running out of time, finds an open man, and the Rams get a first down. Billy Badjema, the tight end, a check down receiver, left uncovered on the short pattern. Catch and run 18 yards.
And that's the second big catch for Billy Badjema, getting the big first down. You see right there, number 47 on the edge, Sam Bradford, good poise. He saw the green grass out there in front of Billy Badjema, and what allowed it was Donald Strickland, number 30, who was covering that flat area. Steve Spagnuolo has had it, but Donald Strickland slipped and fell and gave Billy Badjema the chance to get his steam going forward, made that big first down.
The green grass of home.
That's right.
Timeout called.
Timeout, St. Louis.
The Rams call timeout, and they continue to lead 17-10. Times Square. The PBR Built Ford Cup Road to the World Finals. Jackson carries. Rams looking to run clock now with a 7-point lead. A 10-point lead if they kick a field goal might be insurmountable.
And the Rams are going to ride their bull. Steven Jackson right there. Boy, he came out like a absolute shot out of a cannon on that run, right up the gut for 6 yards.
Jackson has run it 22 times today for 80 yards.
You see a little concern on the face now, Phillip Rivers.
And Gordley gets the ball. Jackson again. Bring up third down and about 3. But they're in very advantageous field goal position should they not convert here.
And you look at the miss by Kading earlier. The ball was actually tipped by James Hall, but Kading slipping on the field goal. That could be a very, very significant miss if indeed the Rams do get a field goal opportunity here.
Rams need 3 on this third down. He's going to run for it.
I think you got it, Don.
I don't know.
Marking it just short.
Paul Oliver came headhunting there.
There is a flag on the field in the area where you'd expect a holding call to be made. Yeah, there it is.
Holding, offense, number 60. 10-yard penalty, third down.
Yeah, it's Steve Spagnuolo. Yeah, that's a worst case scenario right there. North Turner very happy about that. You put your field goal kicker now in a much difficult situation. You're going to see the hold there on the left side of the screen. Right there, good job pushing through. That was Kevin Burnett trying to shoot through the gap. Jacob Bell, the left guard, tagged for the hold.
So it's now 3rd and 13. They take the ball right to the middle of the field to set up a 47-yard field goal attempt.
Yep. And the fans don't like it. They think the Rams should have been a little more aggressive. You know, I agree. I think that maybe a quick, safe pass to the outside to try to pick up 6 or 7 yards in that situation makes a difference. You know, you run the ball, you might pop it, sure, but you're looking at a 47-yard kick now, as you said, Don.
Josh Brown's long for the season is 46. It'll be a 48-yarder with a hole's going to be. Slight angle to Brown's right, left hash. Hit hard.
Got it.
And true. And the Rams are saluted with a standing ovation as they build a 20-10 lead with 3:56 to play. Chargers now in trouble. They'll get the ball on the Ram kickoff when we come back.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Subway Restaurants. Try the newest $5 footlong Subway Club today. And by Verizon, the official wireless service provider of the NFL.
The heat is on at the Jones Dome in St. Louis. The Rams have now extended to a 10-point lead as a team that won 1 game a year ago looks to even its record at 3-3 heading to Tampa Bay next week.
And looking for their third consecutive home game. Sorry, Don.
Yeah, now here is the kickoff now, and Rivers and the Charger offense, the #1 offense in the NFL, is going to have to work fast. Sproles goes down hard at the 23. Tonight on 60 Minutes, it's a wonder of the world in the holiest of cities. A dig that is uncovering thousands of years of history. So why is it causing so much tension? Tonight on 60 Minutes, only CBS.
Well, you're right, Don. This Chargers offense now has got to be in true, all-out, 2-minute mode here. They've got to score and score quickly. Now, they only need a field goal on this drive. They need a field goal or a touchdown, but don't be surprised if they take the field goal their first opportunity.
They're 200 yards under their season average per game for passing yards today. Again, the heat is on. Rivers sacked 7 times today by this Ram defense. Now very quick to get rid of the ball because he knows another one's coming.
Yeah, both Chris Long and James Hall have done a tremendous job on this defensive front on the outside, pushing the edges. And then you've mentioned Fred Robbins a few times up the middle, getting that good push up the middle. It's just been a good, solid effort. That was one of the things Steve Spagnuolo wanted to do, get 4-man pressure on Philip Rivers.
Chargers down by 10 with 2nd and 10. Long ball. Perfect. Patrick Creighton out of Northwest Oklahoma State. Beautifully executed, a 26-yard gain. Gets some big yards, and they stop the clock with 3:42 to go.
You see Ron Bartell, number 24 there. He is a little bit undisciplined underneath the coverage. He's the one that has to take that throw away from Philip Rivers. He bit a little bit too much up on the flat, gave Philip Rivers and Patrick Creighton the space to get that ball in the hole there.
Rivers now 19 of 34 for 204 in yardage. No touchdowns throwing the ball, 1 interception.
That ball was respotted about 2 yards back from where they were originally lined up.
Rams come hard with 4. Get down, they get it to Darren Sproles. And look at him sprint to the sideline with a first down. Well, he is just a tremendous football player.
He really is. You get the ball to him on the move in space, and it's it is a 50-50 at best proposition for a defender to make that tackle. I think it's probably more like 25 to 75. He's going to beat you 3 out of 4 times.
5'6", 185. Darren Sproles making plays. He's in the backfield now next to Rivers. There it goes, receiver out there. And a penalty marker fired in from behind. Looks like a possible defense. It is going to go against the defense.
Yep. Patrick Creighton almost made the over-the-shoulder Willie Mays type of catch there for the touchdown. Illegal contact, definitely, though, about 10, 12 yards up the field.
Illegal contact, defense, number 42. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
So the Chargers, Steve, are gaining yards and a lot of good plays now to get them on the penalty, and they're using very little clock to do it.
They are. They've still got their timeouts left. Let's look how close this was to a catch, though, for Patrick Creighton. Look at that. He had his hands up. Just tough to find the ball looking back over your shoulder like that.
Blitzers align. Here they come. Timing throw. It's on target. Creighton is on the run. Inside the 10. Knocked out of bounds at the 5. And still 3:23 to play.
Super instinctive play by both Philip Rivers and Patrick Creighton to realize the situation, the pressure coming, to adjust the route, and then Patrick Creighton catching it, turning outside. Watch the move after he catches the ball. He's looking in. He realizes it's a pressure situation that Philip Rivers is going to need to get rid of that football. Then he plants on that right foot and bounces back to the outside for a great 29-yard gain.
Down by 10. Chargers have it first and goal at the Rams' 5-yard line. Rivers buying time with his feet. What a play. Touchdown San Diego. Buster Davis.
Well, that truly was a great play by both Phillip Rivers and Buster Davis. You're going to see the coverage was fantastic for the Rams. Steve Spagnuolo just knows this is sandlot football now. Phillip Rivers comes outside and the quick release. Boom, watch how quick he gets rid of that ball. There was a little seam to get that ball in there. Norm, little shoulder shimmy there. That's right, we got a touchdown. We're back in this ball game.
And Steve, that 5-play, 76-yard drive took 40 seconds.
And the key, Don, they did not burn a timeout. They've still got over 3 minutes left in the game, so now they're not in an onside kick situation. They're going to have a chance to go out there with their defense and try and use their timeout, get the ball back for Phillip Rivers in that offense with as much time as possible.
I asked Bill Belichick one time, what's the percentage of onside kicks that are successful? He said, surprise or have to. So there's two kinds of onside kicks. There are a lot higher percentage of succeeding on a surprise.
There's a big difference. And look at that. That drive, 76 yards in 40 seconds for the Chargers. Just when you think you got them down, they can come back, and Steve Spagnuolo, he knows it. Disappointed in his defense. They played very, very well all day long against the #1 offense in the NFL. So you just hate to work that hard for that long and then give up a quick score like that. Pressure goes squarely now on that young man, Sam Bradford. They're going to need to convert a few third downs on this drive to keep the ball out of Phillip Rivers' hands.
Well, as we've been documenting, Steve Spagnuolo's message to his Rams every week, expect to win. In their meeting room, we were in there Friday. It had think big, play big, win.
And they're buying into it. I mean, you sit down and you talk with this head coach, Steve Spagnuolo, and there you see Ron Rivera. His defense has got to step up one more time, but they believe in what he's doing, and it's starting to show up.
Cyphers kicks off to the 8. Amendola looking for a gap. He is out to the 32-yard line. 3:11 left to play in the fourth quarter. Coming up on the Subway postgame show, join JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Cowher for all the latest NFL scores and highlights. That's all coming up on the Subway postgame show. With Steve Berline, this is Don Criqui at the Jones Dome in St. Louis. The Rams at one point in the first half led 17-0 over the supercharged Chargers, a team that came in with the #1 offense and the #2 defense in the entire league. And now the Chargers have rallied back.
You expect them to really try and feature Steven Jackson here. Love to grind it out. Problem is, Ron Rivera and his defense, they know exactly what the Rams want to do. They want to grind it out in their what's called their 4-minute offense, where you're just trying to get in your best run, power running formations to try and grind out 3 or 4 yards a pop and eat up that clock.
Well, they went 76 yards, the Chargers, on offense the last time they had possession in 5 plays, taking a total of 40 seconds. They've got to get the ball back, and when the Rams aren't about to give it to them, this is a 2nd and 9 for the rookie quarterback, and he goes to his cornerstone runner, Steven Jackson, pounding away. Jackson with his 26th carry of the day.
And there's the first timeout for the Chargers.
Timeout, San Diego. This is the first charge timeout.
There'll be another one, of course, with a 2-minute warning. And a big factor both teams have to be very aware of and have great focus on is no penalties.
No doubt about it. Penalties cost you big time at the end of the game in the final 2 minutes.
And this field goal is enormous in the overall outlook of this game. Here's Kading as he steps into it. Loses his footing, hits a line drive.
This ball came out low. That left ankle buckled. And all he's hoping for right now is a chance to redeem himself, get this game to overtime.
The ongoing special teams problems of the Chargers been a problem all year, and the Charger defense, Steve, is really focusing on Steven Jackson now.
Yeah, they have to be. And now this is going to come down to Sam Bradford right here making a play. Maybe getting out on the edge after a play action fake.
This time, Jackson gets ahead for the first down. Prior to that, he had just 15 yards in his previous 10 carries, but now he busts one for 9 yards and a first down.
And
huge.
Right over the top of a referee as well. Steven Jackson, what a run. I was sure they were going to let Bradford throw the football, but when you got a horse like Steven Jackson, feed it to him, let him go. Let's see if he can get it.
First down Rams on their home field at the 45-yard line as they hold to a 20-17 lead over the Chargers. After leading the Chargers in the first half at one point, 17-0. Jackson. The more he gets it, the more he likes it. He is a pro's pro. Steven Jackson taken down by Sean Phillips, who's been quiet today. The
San Diego.
Sack leader.
This is their second charge timeout. 30-second timeout.
And Steven Jackson coming up on 100 yards, again 97 yards rushing on the day. Game summary, you got the big early touchdown from Sam Bradford to Denario Alexander. And then the second touchdown of the day, Steven Jackson right up the gut. A lot of great defensive pressure. 6 sacks on the game by the Rams, causing problems for San Diego all day, but they've come back. 7 sacks, I should say, but come back, and the Chargers try to get back into the ball game. Had the unfortunate missed field goal by Kading, which is the difference in this ball game right now.
Rams have never trailed in this game. Jackson again, and he breaks it through for a first down. Chargers down to their last timeout. Another 12-yard run by Jackson.
San Diego.
It's going to make it very tough to beat the Rams right now.
Really, really tough. And what a disappointing couple of weeks for the San Diego Chargers to lose to Oakland last week and to be in this position this week. A great physical run by Steven Jackson and the Rams one more time, finishing it with an exclamation point. But if you assume the Chargers are going to lose this game at this point, they fall a full 2 games behind Kansas City. Kansas City is leading today, and they're going to fall 2 games behind. Plus, they lost the head-to-head matchup, which is basically like another game. They now fall 3 games behind Kansas City. North Turner knows that is a very difficult hole to climb out of.
Only 1 turnover today. That was an interception of Phillip Rivers by the Rams. But Rivers getting sacked 7 times today by the Rams defense has been huge in the outcome of this.
And I'll tell you, Sam Bradford and this Rams team sitting at 3-3 now. What a great start for Steve Spagnuolo and his team. And Sam Bradford came out and played very, very sharp, very good football in the first half, and they hung on to win in the second half. You knew the Chargers were going to make a run at them. But they held up, and they finished it off the way good teams do, pounding the ball right up the gut.
Well, they've done that. As the Rams go into the victory formation, Bradford downs the ball. He's been sound all day. The rookie quarterback, 18 of 31 for 198 and a touchdown. He's not been intercepted. And the Chargers deep, powerless to stop the clock.
Exactly right. And the Rams with the 3rd win today this year have double or equaled their win total for the last 2 seasons with 3. And this is an organization, I think, that you can really sense is heading in the right direction. This is a huge win for the St. Louis organization.
Well, even after that 44-6 loss to the Lions last week, you got a sense of optimism around the Rams camp this week.
There was a lot of confidence in that locker room. We talked to them. They knew they got beat, but they also said, you know what, we're going to come back to work and try and get better. They sure got better against a good football team today.
Tremendous as Ron Rivera, D coordinator for the Chargers, congratulates Bradford, who is indeed a rising star and everything and more that the Rams expected when they drafted him as the #1 pick in the entire draft out of Oklahoma. A guy with only 2 years of college experience. Good and getting better.
We're going to be talking about him for a long, long time, Don.